I'm like, shut up. So I fucking DNF'd it at 60%. He's a fucking lizard. Literally try to imagine being sexually attracted to a fucking lizard, okay? I'm like, if this bitch says this is freaking crazy one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Another DNF. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about some friggin' books. Some books I read recently. First, I'm going to get out of the way the fantasy romance slash just romance. At least one was just romance. Deep dive vlog books that I read recently. This video should be coming out after that vlog comes out, so you'll have seen that if you watched it, but I want to real quick cover these. Most of these are novellas, a couple of short stories even. So let's be quick with it. Yeah, if you want more thoughts on these books, you can go check out the vlog. The first one I read was in the end of June. I read Haunted by Christina C. Jones. So yeah, this was when I started the fucking vlog. It was the end of June. Leave me alone, okay? And this is a paranormal romance novella, and there are others in the series. I might continue. I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. I wasn't mad at it. I didn't love it, obviously. Novellas I struggle with always, though. And then the 2 short stories that I read are both from the same author, Nikki Clark. These are her vampire quickie stories, Taste and Lick. I gave Taste 3.5 stars, and I gave Lick 3.25. And similar thing where they're in the same world. In the second one, we see characters from the first one. The 2 female characters, the 2 heroines from each story, are best friends. So there's that. And yeah, vampires in modern day and cool lore and whatnot, but they were just so short. And then I had a couple of DNFs, one of which was Desperate Measures by Katie Robert, which is the Jafar and Jasmine one, and this is the one it's just like contemporary. Yeah, I wasn't like mad at the sex scenes. A lot of them I was like, oh, this is hot. Okay, getting real kinky. Going to like sex club where you're banging in front of people, or like all these different kinks you can play out and whatnot. And I thought all that was great, but oh my god, I do not mind. I enjoy when there is like a daddy kink going on, or like a praise kink, you know, the whole like daddy, good girl, oh, you're a good girl, blah, blah, whatever, all that stuff. But oh my god, he kept calling her baby girl like all the time. And I don't even find it particularly hot for some reason, like baby girl, like in a sexy way, when he's like, come sit on my lap, baby girl. It just kind of reads as like a little cheesy to me, or like, I don't know why, because like I said, I don't mind like the daddy kink and the like her calling him daddy and him telling her, ooh, she's a good girl or whatever, but for some reason the baby girl, but then he started doing it like outside of sex too, like he's just in conversation being like, don't forget to put your seatbelt on, baby girl, and I'm like, all the time we need to be fucking saying this, and it just doesn't feel natural. And then it also just makes me think of that, what's that fucking 365 or whatever god-awful thing on Netflix that I've never watched, but I've watched people like do commentary on it. And he's always like, baby girl, baby girl, baby girl. Hey there, baby girl. What's going on, baby girl? And I'm just like, oh my god, shut up. Like, call her babe or baby. I don't know. It's like, it can be cute if you're just like, hey, baby girl. Or being like cutesy, like, oh, little baby girl, you're so cute today. Or like, I don't fucking know, some shit like that. But he just casually was always just like, baby girl. Hey, baby girl. I was like, this is just awkward. I don't like it. So I fucking DNF'd it at 60%. And then the next one I DNF'd from that was Guild by Raven Kennedy. I might read the second book and see how I feel about that one. This one, I just, so slow, so repetitive, meandering, did not care, and just the angsty shit, I just was like, I don't give a fuck. So I DNF'd that pretty early on. But I've seen a lot of people say that if you don't like the first book, like to continue because the rest of the series is very different from that. I don't know, if you've read the whole series, do you think I would have a fun time at least with the rest of the series or nah? Let me know. And then I actually finished another one, which was Queen Takes Knights by Joelle Sue Burkhart. This is Their Vampire Queen, Book 1. It's a novella that I quite enjoyed. It's like reverse harem, and I liked the lore a lot in this world. I like vampires anyway, but they're vampires that once they get like bonded to their queen, they can like shapeshift into different like monster creatures because they're her bonded, basically like knights. Hence the title. They're there to protect her and to die for her, and they love her and adore her, and all they ever want to do is please her in all the ways. And the whole thing is like, for her to be a strong queen, she needs to be very protected and have more, knights, basically, more people in her little court, in her little nest. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was hot and also fun, and I liked the characters and their dynamic that was developing, and I will continue with that series. I gave it 3.75 stars. And those were, the first one was from the end of June, and then the rest were from July, and then I read some other stuff that I've already talked about, but then new stuff that I have not talked about. I read recently, I have it over here, let me grab it. I mostly listened to this on audio though, but I did read some of it physically. In the Market for Murder by T.E. Kinsey. This is book 2 of the Lady Hardcastle mystery series. And I quite enjoyed this one as well as I did with the first one. In this one, it's Flo and Lady Hardcastle go to like what do they call it? It's like the meat market day. It's like the cows. What do they call it? Market day? Oh, God. It's been so long since I read it now. And yeah, they're there, they go there, and then later a man who is there one day falls dead into his soup or his porridge or some shit, and everyone's like, what happened? So she gets pulled in to be her little amateur detective self and help the local police try to figure out what happened, and hijinks ensue, just more Flo and Lady Hardcastle banter, shenanigans. They get a car, and it's like a scandal a little bit of like, oh my God, this woman driving a car by herself. And I fucking love, oh God, where? Oh yeah, here it is. She goes into the motor dealer, and this guy's like, oh, good morning. And she's like, oh, I wired you I was coming. And he says, ah, yes, my lady, of course. Would you care for some tea while we wait for your husband? Tea would be splendid, thank you. I'd like to talk to you about the Rover 6. I really must insist that I speak to your husband about this, my lady. This really is a matter for him. Very well. Might I trouble you for the use of your telephone? I shall need to engage the services of a medium so that we might organize a seance. I do beg your pardon, my lady. Of course. The Rover 6, you say? Yes, please. Have you already engaged a chauffeur, my lady, or will you be waiting until the motor car has been delivered? I shall be driving and maintaining it myself, she said in her most infuriatingly amiable tone. Yourself, my lady? Or my maid, perhaps. I rather think we might want to take it in turns. I smiled in response to his questioning look. Flo, she's the POV. In all conscience, my lady, I really can't recommend the purchase of something as complex as a motor car. Not to whom, Mr. Haggett? Not to a pianist? Might I damage my fingers? No, my lady, to a Londoner? I can understand that. We can be a bit overconfident sometimes. It comes from growing up in the capital of the empire, I think. No, my lady, please, I really must. I'm torn, Mr. Haggett. Part of me wants to carry on teasing you and making you squirm. Another part wants to scream and shout and berate you in a most unladylike fashion for not taking me seriously. But honestly, the most powerful part of me just wants to buy a motor car. What do you say we start again? I'm interested in the Rover 6. That's one there, isn't it? The pillar box red one? What can you tell me about it? He sighed, but relented. An hour later, papers were signed, a check was handed over. And then whatever. But yeah, oh God, I fucking love her. Love her. I ended up giving this one 4.25 stars. And I mean, obviously I plan on continuing with the series, especially since I own all of them now. And then the last couple of books in the fantasy romance thing, or the romance thing, One was a DNF. Death's Dancer by Jasmine Silvera. I actually really liked the setup of this. The premise was great. It's like kind of a dystopian type of thing. Something has happened. There were gods. Now the only people who could reach the gods are these gods dancers. They do this special dance that allows like prayers to go up to the gods. And there are necromancers in this world, and they kind of run shit. Not kind of, they do. And yeah, I don't know, I liked the setup, and initially I really enjoyed the characters, but I can't remember how far I got in. Let me see. 23%. Yeah, I got 23% of the way into it. And I think it was just the writing style just wasn't really working for me. The execution of the premise, it just wasn't being executed in a way that was really grabbing my interest a hell of a lot. So I gave up. And then I did finish The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. And this one, I enjoyed the dynamic between the two characters. I really enjoyed that the heroine, was coming out of an abusive relationship, an abusive marriage. So she had like healing to do, and she obviously had trauma from the emotional abuse as much as the physical abuse, and I can relate to that on various levels. So I liked seeing that played out. But like with that element specifically, I just felt like it's not like I thought it was done poorly. It just wasn't delved into deeply enough for me, I guess. I mean, it's a novella, so it kind of makes sense. I wasn't mad at it, but I just kind of wanted a little more there. But yeah, I like their dynamic together. Very cute, very sweet, very, like, they're precious. And then the sex scenes, generally, I found hot and enjoyable. There wasn't, cringy ass, like, dialogue happening or whatever. Because, like, I like the dirty talk, but I don't like the fucking cringy, weird, dumb dirty talk. Where I'm like, who the fuck? That's not hot. There wasn't a bunch of that going on. So yeah, I was enjoying it. But monster romances, I think, are just not for me. I get he was really nice and he was really sweet, but it's not like a shape-shifting thing. Like, he's just always like this. And she's walking around being like, ooh, maybe I'm attracted to him. He's kind of hot. And I'm like, I just feel like not very many human women, and it's fucking fake, I know. But again, it's just one of these things that, like, I just can't suspend my disbelief long enough, I guess. Or just, like, it pulls me out of the story to be like, what human woman would be like, oh God, I just can't wait to bang this lizard guy. Like, even if he's real nice, imagine that. Literally try to imagine being sexually attracted to a fucking lizard, okay? It pulls me out and it makes me kind of like, what? So yeah, various things about it that didn't really work for me, but again, I did really think their romance was really cute and sweet, and other than those couple of things, the sex scenes I thought were real hot and I liked them. Very kinky, whatever, smutty times, and I liked it. But I don't think I shall be continuing with this series or any other monster romances because I just think I can't suspend my disbelief long enough. It's just, it's a me thing. I can't get past it. Kind of wish I could, because like I said, I liked it. Otherwise, I'm just like, he's a fucking lizard. So anyway, I ended up giving this 3 stars. And then the last one for that vlog was another DNF. Wildest Dreams by Kristen Ashley. I got hardly into this at all. Yeah, I got like 4% of the way into this, and my reason for DNFing that I put on Storygraph was just, sweet baby Jesus, no. I simply could fucking not. Oh my God, I wanted it was the longest one, is like 500 some pages. It's a whole series, like the fantasy romance stuff all up in there, magic. The premise was really cool. It's like kind of Portal Worlds thing where we have our main character, and at the very beginning of the book, she has somehow learned that there are these other realms. They're like twin realms to ours, and there's a witch who she's gonna pay $1 million to, which right off the bat I was like, what kind of money does this bitch have? $1 million Jesus Christ. But anyway, she's paying $1 million to switch places with like the version of her from this other realm, because this witch has been getting messages from the other realm from this other chick who's like, I want to come there for a year, send my like twin person here. And so the witch talks to her and she's like, fuck it. And she's all like, I'm just adventurous and crazy. We start off, we get dropped in on page 1. We are dropped in to the middle of an argument between the main character, Finny, Finn, her best friend who's like, bitch, don't do this. This is fucking insane. And the witch who's like, it's fine. And then she very promptly is there. And when I tell you that we get excruciating, detailed descriptions of fucking everything that she can put her fucking eyeballs on, oh my God. And right off the bat, too, we're in her head. It's first person point of view. She's supposedly like 30 fucking years old. And the inner fucking monologue of like a 12-year-old at best to me. And then we're in her room and there's people pounding on the fucking door, okay? Being like, come, open the door, even your mother is coming, it's urgent. And like, she's just meandering around looking at her room and describing all the fucking wood carvings everywhere and all the fucking curtains, just as people are like fucking banging and like, open the door, you need to be ready. And like, she's just like, wow, this is crazy. Oh my gosh. Gee willikers. Like just being so, okay. And then she does the fucking thing. Oh, and the two girls like wrote like notes for each other to like explain like, oh, this is my best friend and this is this person. And so she left her note for her chick. And so she's looking around for the note and she sees a note on a desk. She like goes to go over to it, or she picks it up. And then before she could read it, again, as people continue, she keeps saying, like, hearing them banging on the door and being like, yeah. And then her mother is there, and her mom's like, open the door, Finn, this instant. We need to leave. Oh, my God. And then she catches a glimpse of herself in the mirror, and then stands there in the mirror describing her fucking outfit in, again, excruciating detail. And I have so many issues with, number one, the detail. I don't fucking need to know about every goddamn ruffle and fucking feather sticking out of everywhere and the hemline over here and the stitching is this color, and I don't care to that level of detail. Also, she presumably was wearing modern clothing when she shifted over to this realm. She was wearing her clothes, which were probably like jeans and a t-shirt or some shit like that, right? She wasn't wearing like a full-ass gown. And then she's in this realm and she immediately like gets portaled in wearing this like gown, and it's like described as I think corseted, and it's like pushing her boobs all up to like her fucking chin, and it has a train. And you mean to tell me that she didn't fucking notice she was wearing this shit? Couldn't feel it? She couldn't feel her boobs all shoved up into her neck? She couldn't feel the like tightness of the bodice? She couldn't feel the fucking train behind her, the skirts billowing around her as she's walking around the room staring at the fucking wood carvings and shit? She couldn't fucking feel at all. Or see it out of her peripheral. She couldn't see the goddamn dress she has on, again, with a train. But then she catches, oh my God, wow. And then, again, this whole time, several times in the scene, like it's mentioned, people are banging on the door. Oh, she hears it again. Now her mother's there banging on the door. Oh, she really should get the fucking door. But, oh my God, the fucking cuff of my dress. Ugh. And then she has the fucking letter, and she just like comes out of her like a reverie of her looking at herself in the mirror, and is like, oh, folds it up, sticks it in her cleavage, and opens the door. Bitch, you couldn't have fucking read it real quick? Oh my God, or even glanced at it? And then immediately, oh, and she saw a crown. And then she sees her mom wearing a crown. Is like, a crown? Gosh, what? Are we like royal or something? No freaking way. Literally in her head, in the text, she keeps saying shit like that. No freaking way. That's freaking crazy. Oh my God. Wow. Whoa. Wow. That's freaking wild. I'm like, shut up. And then she's just going on and on in the fucking carriage ride with her mom. Her mom's being a bitch. And she's like, maybe I should have read that note, I guess. Yeah, you fucking think. And then and she realized someone calls her mom Your Grace, and she's like, wait, so we are royalty. Oh my God, that's freaking crazy. I'm like, if this bitch says this is freaking crazy one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. And then, yeah, the whoa, wow, wow. And like all this like, gee willikers, mister. And then like I turn the page and she's like, this shit is fucked. And I'm like, wait, who are you? Do you even know who you are? Oh my God. Anyway, could not. Oh God. The premise was fun. It could be a very fun romance as it continues. I have no idea. And like, if you're someone who's looking for more of that than the writing style and the authorial voice, then you might read this and be like, this is my favorite fucking shit ever. There's a bunch of 5-star reviews for it. So, you know, check it out if you do really tend to like romance and fantasy romance. It just was not for me. And finally, the last book to talk about today, God, there's so many, but a lot of them are just whatever, is The Windweaver Storm by Antoine Bondelet. This is book 2 of the T.J. Young and the Orishas series. It's a middle grade young adult series. In this now, they're like 14, 15. They were like 13, 14 in the first book, I think. So yeah, getting a little older. I really enjoyed it. This one starts off almost immediately after the events of the first book. I loved the first book, okay? I didn't love this one as much, and I can't quite put my finger on why. I don't know if it was just a me thing with, I've said so many times, I am such a mood reader, and there are times where I read stuff that I look back and I'm like, I can't really pinpoint why I wasn't clicking with it, and it might have just been like, not like slumping, but just for whatever reason being distracted, not really getting the time to like sit down and focus on it a lot, and just kind of picking it up here and there and like having a lot of other shit on my mind in that time period while reading it. And I feel like that might be kind of what happened here, especially in the beginning. I was just getting a little bit like discombobulated with all of the Orisha names and everything. But like they were in the first book too, so I think it was just a me thing this time around. I don't know. But I really liked seeing these friendships continue because TJ and his like besties, they just met in the last book. They're new friends, and now they're all going to the same academy in Lagos, and they travel over there to go to this magic diviner academy. And just seeing them develop their friendships and their relationships, and they get put into some really tough spots. Like there's death in this book towards the end. It's never like, you know, gruesome, on page, brutal, graphic, or whatever. But there are characters who there's battles and things, and they don't make it out. And then I really enjoyed the ending with TJ, especially because I mean he's the main character that we're following. Seeing his like grief and him dealing with having not been able to save everyone like he wanted to. So yeah, I really liked that a lot. I mean, I'm definitely going to continue with the series. I just didn't love this one like I loved the first one. I ended up giving this 3.75 stars. So still decently high rating for me especially, but I'm very excited to see what happens in the next book. I think now that like stuff is a little bit more established, and in this one we have a lot of like angsty teen like crushes and like wanting like just little teen dramas of not being able to say how they really feel, and then making choices that you're like, that's not what you should be doing. But you know, they're young, they're 14, 15, so it's realistic. But you have a lot of that of like, oh, that's bad, don't do that, that's gonna be mean or hurtful, or like times where they need to just like be honest and communicate, but they just can't because again they're so young and like still just coming into their own and figuring out the world, you know. And it seems like in the next book we're gonna get into even more mythologies. Like the next book is gonna follow a lot more like Norse mythology. So this time we've been following in the previous book and this one, it's just focusing on like the Orisha mythology and lore and everything. And we get like touches of the other mythologies that exist in the world, but not like directly. And it seems like in book 3, we are going to get some direct interaction with Norse gods. Again, following TJ, of course, but yeah, I'm excited for that. And there we go. Those are all the books that I needed to talk about. Again, some of them are from a little while ago, but I just hadn't actually talked about them in a recent wrap-up type of video, so here we are. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined and you have not already. Of course, leave a little emoji if you just want to make your presence known but don't have anything further to add. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.